Welcome into Good Morning KU. I'm Griffin Hughes. Joining me is Onye. He's the president of ASA, and there's a big event tomorrow. It's the Discussions on Africa Leadership Summit. It's tomorrow from 4:15 to 8:15. Onye, break down the event for us. What can we be looking for?
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me in here today. I'm the president of the Africa Students Association here at KU, and we're putting up this event. It's called the Leadership Summit. It's the first ever that we've had, and we're doing it differently because in the past, ASA has been involved in all kinds of sociocultural shows, fashion shows, dance, and all that. But this time around, we're trying to build people's capacity to be better leaders in their communities here in the United States and also across the world and in Africa.
Why is it important for students to get involved with this kind of event?
Oh, it's very important. I have a very colorful growing up experience. I grew up in Australia, in Western Australia to be exact. I've lived in Europe also. I've lived in Nigeria, in West Africa, and now I'm in the United States. So I'm more or less what you might describe as a global citizen. Now, if you want to look at, if you're looking at an international career, you need to know what's going on internationally. And so it's no more an era where people come to class and they teach you stuff and you're like, oh, okay, I can read this from the textbook. No, you need to come out and hear actual people, practitioners, and people who have in-depth insights into what's going on out there. You need to come and listen to us and to get involved in what's going on. Because to tell you the truth, what happens in Africa affects America. What happens in Europe affects America. What happens in Oceania or in Asia, it affects Americans all the way.
Well, that's very impressive. I've lived in the same house my entire life, so you've lived in more continents than I have houses. That's incredibly impressive to me. Why is it important for students to know about Africa and get involved with this event in particular?
Well, that's a very good question. Well, the University of Kansas has the only African Studies Center in the whole state of Kansas. A very well-to-do center, very prestigious research going on. I was part of a conference on Africa Studies here in October, and the university has a Department of African and African American Studies. Of course, we know about the Office of Multicultural Affairs and efforts by this university to try and encourage diversity and equality among the students, among staff, among the faculty members. And so the world, like I said earlier, it's evolving. You know, diversity is the thing. You need to know how to relate to people across cultures, because whether we like it or not, culture is something that it differs from one place to the next. And if you want to be an effective manager in a private business, in a public establishment, or what have you, you need to know how to interact with people from other places.
Onye, thank you so much. I'm going to ask you one last question. If there's a student in here, and there's lots of students in here.
Yes.
If they have nothing to do on Tuesday, and they're saying, oh, you know, I don't know if I should go to this event, you know, they're kind of up in the air, what would you say to them to make them go to this very important event?
Absolutely. I'd say, well, there's nothing like a presidential welcome. Come on. If the president will be at the gate to welcome you personally, I mean, that's something to start with. But then moving beyond that, I'd like to invite you all to come. This program is free. It's free entry. We have refreshments going on. We have at least 24 faculty members who are confirmed, and these are all tenured professors here at the University of Kansas. We have guest speakers from across the state of Kansas, Topeka, Kansas City, and we have a keynote speaker who's coming in from the University of Illinois, a very seasoned social worker and project manager. So depending on the kind of career you're looking at, depending on who your friends really are, depending on what you want, whether you want to be a global citizen or a Lawrence citizen, this is the chance for you to come and hear about what's going on, to share with your friends, and to be part of a global community, which we enjoy here at KU.
Onye, thank you so much for joining us. The African Student Leadership, or the Discussions on Africa Leadership Summit, excuse me, tomorrow, 4:15 to 8:15.
4:55.
4:55.
Yes.
Wow,
to
I need to do
8:15.
my research a little bit better. Thank you so much
That's fine.
for coming on and joining us, President of ASA.
Thank
Coming
you
up
so much.
after the break, we've got Gabby and Lane with the news. Stay with us.